I'm going live. I'm going live. I'm live. I'm live. I'm about to put something on here. Okay?
Yeah. Yeah.
Father God, lead the way. How good is shit that I will say? Listen, guys.
I gotta let you go.
Office.
All right.
He is not there. I don't know why. But we are going to go to his campaign office. And we are going to let the people that are helping him campaign know the truth. What the people feel. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for us to stand up. It's time for us to take back territory. It's time for us to be confrontational about these things. So we just parked. We're going to walk down to his campaign office, and we are going to let them know what for. Because this guy is a false prophet, and he is a terrible representative. He is a bad steward. You just seen in my last live the proof, okay? He cannot even manage a field across the street full of homeless people, let alone represent the state of Georgia. He is incapable. He is incompetent, if you ask me, because there is no way you can have that across your street and be a minister of the gospel of Jesus Christ and allow that. Stay tuned. Baby. Father God, do your will, Lord. Give us the mind and the strength of the word. Lord, cover us in your protection here. In Jesus' name. You guys just start praying. Start praying for us. Praying for our protection. If you want us to be careful, you can start praying for us right now. Pray for us. Thank you, King Jesus. You got to start exposing these devils. You got to start exposing them. It's 2021. We got the vision. First of all, 2020 was about getting the vision. 2021 is about executing the vision. We got the vision. We seen the truth. We realized the real from the fake. We realized the right from the wrong. But now it's time to call it out. And it's time to start bringing justice to the front. This is what 2021 is about. Oh. Baba, thank you. Baba, thank you. Easy. That was so good. Easy. Hey, King. Just when you got your out, they pulled you back in. Boy, I don't know about to talk about this too, but King. Oh. Thank you, Lord. Let's go. Hi. Are y'all here to volunteer? Well, we're here to speak to someone. Yeah. About what? Well, just about the campaign and so I guess. What do you need? Well, we want to understand. Raphael Warnock is running right now for U.S. Senator to represent Georgia. Yeah, I understand that because we actually don't let people in the building. Okay, that's fine. Yeah. We want to understand why a man who's a Christian is allowing that field of filth across the street. 100%. So I'm not going to speak on behalf of the campaign because I'm not his spokesperson. But that's something that you can send an email to his campaign team and get an answer to that question. So, but is there someone here that can speak up because there's volunteers here representing him? I'm the only person in the building. Okay, fine. So, because the vote is tomorrow, you would think you better put more people here. The vote is not tomorrow, though. It's Tuesday. Tuesday, yes, ma'am. Tuesday. So this is the thing. You work for him. You volunteer for him. Yeah, I'm not a worker. Yes. You volunteer for him. So then you're the person that I'll address, and because you're a representative of him. You don't have to. I'm gonna let you know. This is the thing. This man. Okay. He is, and this is another one. I'll speak to both of you. This man is running as a pro-choice pastor, yet across the street from his church is full of filth and gunk. The number one killer of the African-American community is abortion, okay? And the fact that him as a Democrat, yes, absolutely. No, this is the thing. This is evil. I'm going to challenge you especially because I believe you're for the people to wake up and smell the coffee. This man is not for this state. He is going to be a bad representative. He is a bad.
You have to stop filming or
I understand that, but don't put your hands on me.
I wasn't trying to.
So don't touch me.
You're filming.
I understand that, but don't touch me. Whatever you do, just don't touch me.
Filming.
That's fine. You can do what you want to do, but just don't touch me.
You have to leave.
That's fine. And also
filming.
social distancing.
What
happened to social distancing?
You don't even have a mask.
So exactly.
Leave.
You got to back up.
Leave.
You got to back up.
You have to leave.
Listen to me, young lady.
You have to leave.
This man says he's representing us. He says that he's representing us. Yet our own people are in the field right now, intense, poor. He's supposed to be standing for us. He's a pro-choice pastor. The number one killer of the African-American community. Do it. The number one killer of the African-American community is us. I'm asking you to be convicted. I'm asking you, please. I understand that, but listen to me. I don't want to put on a mask. I don't want to put on a mask. But this is bigger than a mask. You're more than 6 feet away. You're more than 6 feet away. He's the one getting close to me. I didn't get close to him. So if he's that scared about COVID, then he should stay backed up. I'm just asking you, miss, have a conscience. Don't be about your own business, but see truth and wake up, please. You can't promote this man and vote for a man that's killing your own people. Wake up. He wants us to die. He's just another. Listen. This, of course, the white liberals want us to die. These are your own people. Your own. He still goes to his nice neighborhood and lives his nice life. I'm not yelling at you. I'm passionate, but I'm pleading you to stand with me. I'm asking you to stand with me. I'm not yelling at you. We are sisters. We're sisters. I'm not yelling at you. I'm pleading with you. I said you're a representative. I'm not incriminating you. I'm asking you to turn your face towards the truth. That's all I'm asking you to do. That's all I'm asking you to do. I'm not here to condemn you. I'm just passionate, but I'm begging you. Just turn your face to the truth, please. We are the cost, not him.
You're volunteering for someone who advocates for babies to be died.
Okay, they're on their way.
He could care less. Don't ever get it twisted. Don't ever forget. He could care less.
They're on their way.
Good. We like the police. God bless Blue.
He doesn't care about you. Look at him.
Leave.
We're trying to engage with you.
He don't care. You gonna see. You gonna see. Come on, man. You gonna see. You gonna see. You gonna see. Your brethren will always tell you the truth. I'll never be your enemy for telling you the truth. God bless you. You too. And stop hating black people. Come on. That's what he do. He hates black people. He want to vote for a pro-choice pastor so we can keep killing ourselves in the womb and in the street. You don't mind. You don't mind. You hate black people. Just admit it and stop being fake about it, devil. We're not going to get this video. If you're for your people, stand for your people. Stop supporting the murder of your own. Stop supporting a pro-choice pastor when the number one killer of the African-American community is abortion. Your own people gonna die, buddy, while you shake your head. Your own people gonna die. Remember that. And you helped it. Don't ever forget that. Your own people are homeless on the streets in a tent while you shake your head. Don't ever forget that. Repent. Trump. Y'all, we gotta go. God bless y'all.
Hey y'all. Hey y'all, how y'all doing? How did y'all like that? Now, they act like pro-life, pro-choice, pro-life, pro-choice, Christian black people, the real ones, are fighters because we believe in God. We believe in the Most High. We don't back down. That sister was doing exactly what I was doing a month ago in Georgia, exposing Warnut, who is a liar, a fraud, a coon, a woman abuser, a woman hater. He's nobody that I need to regard. I don't care. I'm asking everybody that's got friends in and family in Georgia to reject Warnock.
Come on in.
Don't let these people fool you. These people hate, okay, black people. They hate us. They're hiding. I'm going to play another video for this sister. There were forces that prevented video shot of me doing some of the same stuff you didn't get to see. Okay. The site, let me tell you her name. Her name is Beverly Beatty. I'm sorry, Beverly Beatty. Okay. Pro-choice is pro-black genocide. I don't care who doesn't like it. I don't care. I don't want you on my site. You want to kill black babies. You want to mess up and traumatize my sisters. I couldn't give two damns if I never see you again. Okay. Her name is Beverly Beatty. She's on YouTube. I'm going to show another video. I'm against Warnock. I denounced him. I went to his church before she went. We need to say no to these people. Stop killing us. She's got another video. I'm about to put it up here. Hold on one second. I'm about to put it up here right now. Hold on, where is it? Wait a second. I'm going to turn the lights out. I need y'all to see this. When I attack coons, it isn't because I hate them. It is not because I'm a petty person. It's because they're literally killing us. If y'all saw the garbage sermon or prayer given by Congressman Emmanuel Cleaver, where he's acting like the God of the Hindus that supports a caste system where black folks are raped and murdered and have been enslaved in Asia for thousands of years. That's the kind of crap we're getting from all of these fake ass liberal type sellout baby killing black folks. I won't put this other thing up here. Y'all need to see it's not just me. And this is a real black woman. This is the kind of black woman I like. Y'all, I like black women that care. I like black women that are real, right? I like black women that got some passion. I want you to see what she's saying. Hear her out. I'm about to put it on. I'm going to play it. Listen to her.
So, ladies and gentlemen, I am here across the street. I'm at
Ebenezer
Baptist Church. This is the guy in Atlanta who's running for U.S. Senator. He said, he made it very clear, he's a pro-choice pastor. He's a pro-choice pastor, and this guy's speeding for nothing. Like, he would really hit somebody. How irresponsible. He's a pro-choice pastor. He's a Democrat, and he says that he's for the people. You know, Democrats say that they're for the people, they're for the unity of people, the equality of people, and things like that. Now, this is his church right here. Check this out. We're across the street from his church. This is his church, and this church right here is the historical church Dr. Martin Luther King went to that he attended right across the street. You guys see this? This is his name. Let me cross the street. I ain't gonna cross the street. They be speeding over here. That's his name over there. Raphael Warnock. That's his name. That's I'm running right now to be senator. Okay? I want you guys to check this out. I want you guys to check something out real quick. Right across the street from his church. Look at this. And you guys, look. Even this guy's astounded. He's looking. Look at this. Look at this. Hey, buddy. Can I ask you a question? Was Atlanta back in the days always like this? It was like a homeless. I've never seen. It looked like the West Coast. This is crazy. Where you from? Of course. Okay. The guy that's Yeah, we just moved here from Jersey. But she lived in New York and I lived in Staten Island. Look at this, y'all. Look at this. This is right across. This is right across from this church, y'all. Right across. No. This is, y'all don't understand. This is right across the street. This is his church. But this guy wants to represent Georgia. You guys need to share this. You guys need to share this. This man, I'm going in. I want to show y'all. This guy wants to represent Georgia, y'all. This man says he can represent Georgia, but he can't even clean up the trash across the street. I want y'all to see this. Look at this. Jesus. Look at this. This is literally right across the street. Look over there. This the guy talk about running and representing us. Y'all, I don't think y'all understand how demonic these Democrats are. Look at this. His church. His church is right here, y'all. He has a mega church. You telling me he can't get some of his congregation to come out here and clean this place up? Minister the gospel to
Wait a second. What is going on?
We were in Oakland. The last one. And it was Kamala Harris. That's out there elect. Hold on. I need to see this. This is Raphael
Both of them
Warnots.
got knocked off.
This is right across the street from this church in Atlanta, Georgia. Share with your family and friends. Look at this. Look at this. Look at this. He cannot manage leadership across the street from his own church, let alone manage Georgia.
I gotta stop this. Damn it. It froze. It froze. Nope. I'm showing you and then it freezes. Hello? Okay, now this is back. This damn thing froze. Something came, knocked everything off at one time. Hold on 1 second. Bear with me, something's going on with this again. Not yet. I don't want to. Damn. Nope. Just a second. Just a second. This is the signal won't carry. Okay. That was fine. No. If you don't think. Let me shut this off.
that he could help you.
Okay.
You know who John Solomon is?
No.
He is an investigative reporter. Okay?
He fills in for Hannity sometimes.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way,
Hey, Ramon,
Childress,
how you doing?
I've got the video up.
So glad to hear you. And by the way, are you guys all taking the black cumin, the Nagila sativa and honey?
Well, I haven't, but I have it here. I'm taking so many things.
Anything that I tell you to take, you got to be taking in small amounts now. This is going to be there may be. I'm getting word that there is going to be some kind of electromagnetic garbage that's going to happen today. I don't even know. I haven't even started down to DC yet, and I got to get in my car. Is there? You've got to be taking the N-cysteine, no joke. Reverend Childress, you hear me?
Yeah, I took.
And you got to be taking the elderberry, no joke.
I took.
Gummies, whatever. Take it.
Took some.
Taking the quercetin regularly, and now
Quercetin sucks. Quercetin will die on. Quercetin, I'm sick of it.
Hold on one
You
second.
can take it.
Oh.
You can take it for Reverend Childress. You can take the quercetin, but it's not going to protect you from death. I had a guy who was Black American who said his doctor told him to take the quercetin, and he wasn't going to take the elderberry, and he wasn't going to take the hydroxychloroquine. He's dead, and he smoked a ventilator for about a month, and then his patient and his family pulled the plug on him.
Okay, now
quercetin is not enough.
Pastor Childress, I just sent you a link. Pastor Childress. So you should get that to be able to come on to my stream. And I gotta apologize to everybody. This is absolutely freaky. So Pastor Childress, check your email. I just sent you the link to come in for my stream.
Hold on 1 second.
And Brother Thomas, keep pushing. We're about to do something on abortion and on eugenics and all of this. And I'm going to see if I can get Stella to join with us at some point. I am. So yeah, I got 22 people. I did have 90, and they blasted me. These people think that my bills and everything are paid. This is nuts. But they pulsed it. This is the second time in 2 days. Okay. So let me, Childress, did you get that in your email so you can come in? Can I call you back, Thomas? Because we need to put this out.
No problem. Take care of things.
Okay.
I'm
okay. All right. See you. Bye. Childress?
I'm right here, entering board studio.
Okay, cool. And I was showing them this woman that was Beverlyn Beatty. She's the woman that's gone in on Warnuts. Man, I like her, man. And I was she's fierce, man. She takes no prisoners. And I had this all hooked up nicely. And then all of a sudden it crashed. And so, yeah, if I got you, then I can go back and then I can work on this other thing for my Coonbusters here. So let me know when you're in. Let me know when you're in. And pretty soon I'm going to have a much better format and just keep working at it. So do you have it? Do you have the link necessary to come in? Because folks are waiting. And I can introduce you and so forth. So
your name doing that.
Then that's you can I'll put it in once I have people. Once you get in, are you able to access the link to get into this? So okay, he's out. Let me go back in. I'm sorry, folks. I've got a special guest for y'all, and I was trying to put this thing up and do two things, but sometimes it doesn't work the way you want. I'm going to just go live again. I'm gonna talk about COONBUSTERS. Oh, here it is. Hey, Pastor Childress. Yeah, that means you're on. Yeah, you can hang up. I'll get you. Okay, I got Pastor Childress. So we're going to defer on this Beverly Beatty, and I'm going to get you, Pastor Childress. I'm going to try it again. There you go.
Okay. I see you. You should be able to see me, I guess.
No, your camera's not on. So I see a little white. I don't know if you want to be represented.
There you go.
Like
no,
that.
I'm good.
Okay, there you go. Now, I'm wondering if I should go to Black Genocide and show them that thing on the monkeys, getting the depot with the monkeys.
Whatever you want to do.
Okay, well, let me do this for everybody. Hold on one second. COONBUSTERS, when they mess with this thing, they throw you off. COONBUSTERS presents, and this is Reverend Black Genocide. Okay, hold on one second. I've got everybody. This is a real treat here. This is a real treat here. Okay. Okay, y'all. I'm a streaming portrait. Who you gonna call? COONBUSTERS. This is Dr. Randy Short from the COONBUSTERS headquarters here in Washington, D.C. And lo and behold, I had wanted to warm things up by showing you some Beverly Beatty, because today is a day that a whole lot of Black folks are either going to help themselves and the unborn commit suicide by voting for Jackoff Warnuts, aka Raphael G. Warnock, or John Ossoff. But you may as well call him Jackoff. He looks like a Cabana Boy party favor for Pride Month, and Warnox is, I suspect, very shaky. Special guest I have here, who, by the way, let me do a disclaimer so he doesn't get in trouble. The views and opinions of the Dr. Randy Short channel, Dr. Randy Lancaster Short channel, COONBUSTERS, or Angry Black Men's Book Club, are solely those of the speaker themselves, whether it be me speaking or that of the guest. They do not necessarily represent COONBUSTERS, Angry Black Men's Book Club, Dr. Randy Short, Dr. Randy Lancaster Short, and or SALT Ministry. Here we have today the most important Black and proud, because there are some people who are not proud that are Black, that are pro-life. But I have one of my favorite people, Reverend Cleonard Childress of New Jersey, who has a website, and I'm going to put it up on the banner so you can see who it is. He has a website called blackgenocide.org. And he's one of the rare Black pro-life people who's Black and proud, that doesn't sell us out. I mean, we have a lot of Republicans. He is actually not a Republican. If you want to meet, there are actually Black people registered as Republicans that love Black people, that fight anybody around the honor of Black people. He's one of them. There are Republicans, but neither one of us are. The woman you were watching, Beverly Beatty, they'll fight anybody over defending the rights and lives of Black people. They just happen to be in a party most Black people are not. We know all about racist Republicans. Everybody knows that I called the woman down in Georgia racist bitch, but I said vote for the racist bitch over the coon Negro who ran over his wife's foot, and is stealing money from the church doesn't help the homeless people. Man, you better off with the white woman that looks like Rapunzel that needs a retouch. And Reverend Childress didn't say that. I did. So let me put this up here. Here's a website that you guys, if you want information on how folks are planning to wipe us out, if you want to see the kind of Black Republican that the Republicans can't stand whenever they say Childress or short, they all start running. In fact, we get called black revolutionaries. I get called Marxist, communist, and all I do is say I like Jesus Christ and I like black people, and people just get angry. Oh, how dare you? If you were a real Republican, all you would do is talk bad about black people. He doesn't do that. So I'm just putting this up there. It's blackgenocide.org. There we go. Is it going to work? And if it doesn't do it that way, there it is. Is it up there?
Yeah, I can see it.
Okay, cool. Blackgenocide.org is his website. You want to learn about how they're planning? Oh man, they just hit my other feed again. They just took out my other stream. I have to keep doing it, y'all. Look, I want everybody to understand what's going on. Tomorrow's going to be a major day. The folks who don't like, the folks that want to kill babies, the folks that want to have sex with kids, the folks that want to do all this stuff, they're really throwing a bitch here in D.C. There are helicopters everywhere. There are police everywhere. It's crazy. And they're interrupting, messing with your electronics. This has been going on. They were preparing last week. If I told you no matter what I did, I couldn't make my stuff work. They've already planned the jam. This is police state stuff that's happening.
Yeah.
They don't want people think. They don't want people to hear if your streams and your phones and things aren't working. It's because there's a war against your mind, a war against your soul. The scriptures say we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against spiritual wickedness and high places. You're seeing it. All of you non-recognized religion people, for all of you that are spiritual, but you don't have any basis. My book actually calls it like it is, whether you like it or not. If you don't like Jesus, you know, this is not going to be a stream for you. And you know what? If you find me annoying cussing, you'll really die if I sit down and read the Bible to you. So enjoy me when I'm being comical. Because when I get serious about something like heaven and hell, you'll be very unhappy. Anyway, Reverend Childress, welcome. I was reading yesterday the book. It's called the Negro Project by Fleury, talking about Margaret Sanger and all this stuff. And you know all about her. You know all about the fact that we've killed 20 to 21 million black babies have been murdered in this country. If black people hadn't gotten caught up in abortion, we would number well over 100 million people. And we have literally committed suicide as a race, that the Democrats, the leftists, the liberals, Joe Biden in particular, these kinds of people who've mass incarcerated us, brought the drugs in the country for us, they've been trying to kill us for a long time, and they've gotten help. And some of the worst enemies to our survival are nothing but pork chop feminists, idiot black feminist types who serve everybody else. There's a question. Now, if y'all got a question, I want y'all to know. You can always email me. My email, if y'all don't know it by now, shame on you. I mean, it's my name. I mean, it's really pretty easy. But when I have a guest, I may not answer your question. So if something's really pressing you, drop me an email. Now, this is Reverend Childress from blackgenocide.org. He's a family man. He's a pastor of a Baptist church. He probably doesn't have a mega church because he doesn't want guys to go at each other playing butt. So you don't get to have a big church when you don't let dudes do each other. You don't get as much money. I just want to say, black people, we're sorry. We have some great ministers and people who are trying to help us. They don't get no resources. They don't get no love. They don't get no help. If you want to know what a good black minister looks like, the kind that I'm not cussing out, wanting to beat up, you looking at them. Without further ado, when y'all know I say something nice about a black minister, I mean, all of y'all are peaked because y'all have never had me have a black minister on that I was like, well, no, man, I'm too busy being angry, but he's a good man, and we're going to kick it on eugenics. He was down in Atlanta with us attacking Warnuts.
Yeah.
You could smell the pop movement from across the street. You could smell the dookie across the street at Martin Luther King's church. And this dude's going to be senator. And y'all wondering why I can't be a Democrat. I mean, you had 15 years to clean up the dookie. You know, if you didn't wipe your behind in 15 years, you die. Well, what do you think is going to happen to the people? So he was there with his wife. He's a good father. They respect him. They're terrified of him. I don't think he's that tall. I mean, you're about 5'7".
5'8".
Yeah, 5. I'm sorry, I took an inch from you. I mean, you know how folks see you. Oh my God, it's children's. Stop talking to me. I got 4 abortions because I had to. And I was in college, and you don't even jump on them, right? Anyway,
no.
Take over.
Well, I'm just grateful to be here, and I say to your audience, just to show you how this has evolved. First of all, I'm praying that our African-American brothers and sisters finally see who the man is that's been oppressing them, that has been garnering programs to basically diminish us, and is the Democratic Party, the DNC. Now, here's the true test. Go on YouTube and try and say fraud. Do you think that's Donald J. Trump doing the censoring? Do you think that's Donald J. Trump indeed trying to keep you off of your message? These are the people that our race has been supporting for decades. And I have a vision, I believe what the God has been telling me is that I'm using this incident to expose many of them, and for people to step back and realize you raided his office, you have put up false accusations against Donald Trump for the 4 years he was there. You took media. Do people really, black people are beginning to really disturb me. Do you understand that the message of black genocide, which is the litmus test for every black leader, that if you fail that test, then you cannot lead? And certainly Raphael Warnock unquestionably fails that test. And not only does he fail it, he collaborates with the decimation of the African-American community. Why African-Americans? Now I have to say, I was very pleased with the election, not the theft, but it's going to be proven to be a landslide. And the numbers of African-Americans that came out to vote for the agenda that they basically were subliminally for the last really 4 years at least have been told to reject, they accepted on a record level. And this is the most pro-life president ever.
Let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
I saw a figure somewhere that there are 900,000 black babies that were born as a result of Donald Trump cutting back the funding and the support for Planned Parenthood. Have you seen that figure? That it's like a
I haven't seen it, but it's not surprising because they know legislatively, as you know, Roe versus Wade was basically through the slave masters orchestrated through the Supreme Court. They knew what the vote was going to be before the case even came before them, basically to do what it's doing, decimate the African-American community and control. What I'm basically saying is in 1972, there was a sociologist that the Planned Parenthood and United Planned Parenthood hired. And they said, what can we do to get African-Americans to accept abortion? His last name was TC. Can't think of his first name. He says, until abortion is legal, because prior to 1973, there was more white people getting abortions than African-Americans. They discerned. I'm talking about our opposition, our enemies discern, then until you make it legal, they'll reject it on the, many of them will reject it. You won't get the numbers that you have now or had in the past. He finished his study in 1972. What did you have in 1973? All right, with a Republican Richard Nixon sitting in the office. So Henry Kissinger was around. We know the issues there. But my point is, they attack policy. They attack policy and legislation. Now, Hollywood, unquestionably, when you saw that most famous sitcom that everybody was watching at the time, which escapes me.
Maud?
No, I'm talking about just recently in this millennium. She basically had an abortion on Christmas while they were playing Christmas music behind it. And probably some of your listeners probably don't know what I'm talking about. So I said, okay, now they got Hollywood, unquestionably. There was a time you're a little younger than me. There was a time you couldn't see two people in bed. Okay, they had to sleep in separate beds. Could not mention sex. All right, those things have changed. Now Hollywood is saying they glorified this decision by this Black female to have an abortion on Christmas Eve or while they were playing Christmas Silent Night or some music behind her. So once again, all the institutions basically, and abortion is systemic. I don't see why anyone would think that racism is not systemic when you have abortion basically being funded. Then this is the first president, the first genuine president who says he's pro-life that actually fights against that funding, realizing that those Planned Parenthood operatives affect legislation because most of the Democratic Party is funded by eugenics. And they will always have them. Even this governor here in New Jersey has almost demanded this bill of the Freedom Production Act, which basically gives impunity to anyone, and I'm repeating, anyone that indeed is like a prom mom or something along that line, even if the child was born alive and then winds up dead, there'll be no investigation.
Mm-hmm.
Child, if the mother had consented, they can't go into the maternity ward while the mother is feeding and snatch the child. But certainly what they were referencing is when a botched abortion, they can now just go ahead and continue the process of what they intended to do with impunity.
Kill the baby.
Yes.
So and this is what we know, that Barack Obama supported the killing of babies that survived abortion as
the only elected official. I don't know if he's lost his distinction, but he was the only one. Do you know, in that meeting, Planned Parenthood said no. They would not sanction it in the meeting when they're doing the hearing. And after he voted, he still voted for it. That's scary. And then you wanted him to be president. I think, you and I'm sure found out all those stories prior to, which realized unquestionably knew then he is the Manchurian candidate.
Yeah.
Because anytime you adamantly force eugenics, this is what they want. Now, spiritually, it's the spirit of Antichrist.
And Obama necessarily promoted abortion and homosexuality throughout Africa. In fact, even forced it on countries.
Secretary of State Hillary Clinton did the bidding.
And Joe Biden supported it.
You're right. They all did. The obvious has gone beyond the point of basically truly to the thinking mind. I mean, what else do they have to do to prove that they are sinister? Basically have a diabolical plan to exploit, just like slavery, African-American people of color. Is just, I just can't grasp it any longer. Then I came to the conclusion that it was a spell, that it is something indeed due to probably being held by the child sacrifice, holds leadership. Now we know there's greed, but there's to the point where you can't logically be able to discern the intent of the Democratic Party and their policies and how it's hurt African Americans becomes to be baffling unless you put in the spiritual and realize Satan has blinded their eyes to it.
Yeah.
So, you know, from the days of Francis Galton and Madison Grant, Benjamin Hayes, Charles Darwin, this, once you did not have slavery where they could not sell and profit, we became a liability. And once becoming a liability, which maybe I have to ask a question with you, I probably have to do a little research if you can't answer, because I remember Marcus Garvey had the Back to Africa movement. And I'm wondering if he was not financially supported by the elitists. And I'm not getting on anybody or anything.
No, he actually wasn't.
Okay.
And in fact, that's the problem. The system punishes independents. If they own you, they don't mind.
Right. Okay.
Sharpton is owned by them.
I was reading. Yeah, I was reading so much about they wanted us to go back. In fact, the elitist idea was to get us back because we were going to be liabilities we were going to have to pay. They were basically uneducated when released and not able to be, employed, and all that went along with that. But the fact of the matter is, I guess what we really have to recognize that they picked Margaret Sanger because she was already head of the
American Birth Control League.
American Birth Control League, which people did not know that's what Planned Parenthood's real name is. And it was switched in the 40s. But the fact of the matter is, when they picked her, she had all resources. And I remember you were talking about resources earlier. It's amazing. The children of this world are wiser than the children of light. They picked her, and she immediately discerned the target ministers for control. It was amazing to me. And she got all the resources she could by the elitists just to do that. And look how successful she's been. Reversing that if the conservatives would recognize the power of the preacher and the pastor and the religious community in our neighborhood and would have done the same, given resources to carry the message of I just call it Christian living and values that would represent the Bible that I read, how much further along would the Black community be? We're traveling at a snail's pace back to the foundation. I believe it's begun. I really do believe that. I hope I'm not.
There's a whole lot of different religious and spiritual groups in the Black community. True or false, the Black church seems to be MIA for the most part and standing up against the genocide of Black people. True or false?
That is unquestionably true. It's sad because of our heritage. When Martin Luther King, in his letter from a Birmingham jail, pointed out, he said, I don't know what he would say today. He could probably just be in shock. But even then, he said the modern day church is a weak and ineffectual church, and without a certain sound. And he was reflecting on that scripture in Corinthians. How should people charge or go into battle if there's an uncertain sound? We have had an uncertain sound for decades. No question about that. Not only that, he pointed out the fact that they basically had chosen to be disconnected. When he said the early church was too, I forgot how he says, too God intoxicated to be astronomically intimidated. That always stayed with me. Martin did not look at his numbers. He looked at who was with him that would be willing to embrace the vision because he felt it was from God. So the early church was too God intoxicated to be astronomically intimidated. Now, he was referring to the early church of Acts, okay? When they got beat, they asked God for more. They asked God for more of the Spirit because they had a mission to complete. And right now, missing in action is not even a fair analysis of the situation. It is getting better. Like, I believe God is raising up people like Brother Benjamin. I met for the first time when we were at Atlanta. a powerful man of God. Yourself, I think if we can remain stay the course, not to take anything from George Bush Jr., but if we can just remain focused, the flood of God will catch up with us, because truth crushed the earth will rise again. I know it sounds very simple. I know it sounds something that may sound poetic. That is a profound truth. And if we just say, you always have to stay with the truth. You're going to lose some friends, may lose some family. But the preacher got away from the truth. We wanted to be compensated. It was more about position than it was principle. There was far more about notoriety and acceptance, which should have been solved when you accepted Jesus Christ. We still want a segment of our society will sell out to be accepted and to be positioned by the very thing that's oppressing. If there's anything going on right now, we should clearly see who the oppressor is. How in the world are you going to attempt to steal a landslide, which is what they did?
Well, they stole a landslide called America. Then they went and got Africa and the rest of the world. So they've done it before. Now, I want to ask you about Miss Imhoff, a.k.a. Kamala Harris, or Kamala, or Free Willy. Did you hear about the prayer that Emmanuel Cleaver gave, the little no good, cheap United Methodist fake pastor from Kansas City? Did you hear about his prayer?
No, I didn't hear that at all.
Why? You didn't hear? Oh, I need to send it to you. Where he basically made Brahma and all the other gods the equivalent of the gods of the Bible.
Well, just look at this recent prayer ended in Congress in the last session.
That's what I'm talking about.
Oh, that's okay. Yes. Amen. All right. I didn't get all the details that because I've gotten to the point that I'm almost burnt out from listening to these atrocities and not seeing the church just say no more. We're standing up.
Well, what about the Congressional Black Circus?
I tell people once I get my story about Black genocide in America that every Congressional Black Caucus member, and I'm telling a true story, received a My Alpha 21 at this time. This is about, oh gosh, what year was that? About a year or two after it came out. But here is my point. You know Day Gardner, and she went into their meeting. Okay. See, I'm still too naive at this point in my life. I just believe, I'm talking about 2009, 2010. I just believe if they knew, there'd be a different response. Man, I nearly wept. I was like a little boy that found out there was no Santa Claus. I said, in that meeting, they actually said I was mentioned by name. This is what she told me. She said, what they are saying is the truth, but here's our talking points. Well, once again, a believer of truth, searching truth, the Holy Spirit is the spirit of truth. I'm thinking you're going to say, well, maybe we need to do this. Maybe we need to do that. Since they were so sold out to Black genocide, to the eugenics program, and to the abortion industry, they basically in the meeting gave the way to retort what I was saying. Mm-hmm. And here I'm thinking, oh, what year is that, Lord? 2010, 2009. Here I'm thinking, once they get this out, this is going to shift. So that's when I became totally more or less interested in grassroots. I knew that'd be a long journey.
Oh, let me reprise this for you. The Congressional Black Caucus received information from you and other pro-life activists, and they said, Reverend Childress and all the other pro-life people that are against abortion and all this are correct. They're telling the truth. They're standing up for the Black community, and we're going to do something else.
Because of their allegiance to the party, Dean Nelson,
the Democratic Party, the genocide of Black people is the agenda of the Democratic Party, and the Congressional Black Caucus supports the extermination of black people.
Yes. And I'll say to anybody in the world at any time, you prove to me at that point who you are. If it was out of ignorance, you know, we can understand that.
Well, let's go further. You know, I'm with the Rebecca Project for Justice and Human Rights. You know, with Elaine Riddick.
Yes.
And what we did was we took information to the CBC about experimenting on black people with vaccines, drugs, all this unsafe stuff. The Congressional Black Caucus again said, you've really raised our awareness to what the pharmaceutical companies and other people are doing to kill, destroy, to maim, to debilitate black people. Get back to us. Maybe we'll do something. This was over a decade ago. They never did anything. In fact, in 2013, at the Congressional Black Caucus, when we were talking about Depo-Provera, the Congressional Black Caucus is held at the Washington, D.C. Convention Center to make certain that nobody talked about black women getting breast cancer, their kids having birth defects, heart attack, stroke, and all the other side effects of Depo. We were allowed to have our event at listen to this, the Capitol Visitor Center, several miles away from the Congressional Black Caucus, to make certain that nobody would hear what we were trying to tell them. And it gets better, Pastor Chalfus. We were told we'd have 4 hours. We got 90 minutes, and then the police rushed us and threw us out of the Capitol Visitor Center. They came in with guns and everything else. You would have thought that we had threatened people or we had done something. They turned the lights off and threw us out. The congressman, the little bastard that lost his seat in St. Louis, Lacey Clay. I believe that he said we could go there, and then I think he had the plug pulled to make it look like he'd do something to raise awareness, and at the same time shut it.
Right.
This is what the CBC did to me and others.
Well,
we didn't even go and disrupt their meetings or try to push. They do not allow this information. I always say this, I'm very hard on pork chop feminists. These are stupid black baby killing supporter, or they practitioners of killing babies. Yes, we're going to have to make people feel shame about getting abortion. Because when you try to humanize and dignify the person, they have no sense of shame or that this is something that we shouldn't do. We have made it okay to kill babies because we live in a culture that dotes women when we often should not. It is a shame. It is a crime. It is a murder to kill a baby.
Yes, that's
wrong. All the finger wagging and nagging that women do of men about what they need to work on, we men need to start telling women, stop killing babies.
Well, you should need some of them.
I call you out when you call me out.
Absolutely, and no doubt. It was about October or September of last year. Maybe it's overdue. I believe I was on God's calendar. He said, do not make any excuses again for people in the pulpit when it comes to child sacrifice, and tell them they need to come out. Now, I had not done that on a large scale. But now I've shifted since then, that if you support this, it's like the judgment for this is like an hour away or whatever. That's the way I was to have the position, because they're not close to me. He said, they don't have my heart and they should not be over my people. Now, you know how long I've been doing this. He had never said that, which means, let me know the axe is about to fall. Now, that means, I don't know, but I know what I heard.
Judgment for all the babies being killed and for how wicked America's become, that all these different things happening, the rates of suicide and so forth, the STDs. Do you really believe this is like a judgment on America?
I believe, here's what I'm going to say. Of course, it is a judgment. It is not the judgment. You know, some things come, the holding up of rain, as he talked about in the Old Testament, a poor season of crops is to get you to wake up, since the Lord had said he would send you the former and the latter rain in due season, and you would be prosperous. The Deuteronomy 28, especially in the Old Testament. Yes, is what COVID. Matter of fact, COVID was, they say it came from the CCP. Okay, fine. But it was demonic in nature. Okay, there's no question about that. And we should not have been afraid of that. We should have taken precautions. A mask does not stop the virus. I said that I missed something in my.
Well, a condom doesn't stop a virus.
So I said, right, and that's the other lie. Well, see, that lie was delivered too, because they wanted you to believe that it did. But we, of course, did the research and found that indeed a ping pong ball going through a basketball hoop is the same as having a condom on when it comes to HIV. So anyway, what I'm saying, basically, unquestionably, even right now, yes, people will say, why is this happening? But it was get the church to lock down, to really recognize that we left our first love, that we, some of us have a name, that we're alive, but we're dead. All those things were to be evaluated during this time. You had to come out with a prayer life. You had to come out repentant. In March, when they shut us down, and now that we're beginning to open up, you cannot be the same person you were in March. One of the things you saw was the futility of the church, the lack of influence of the church, and the lack of zealots. And that doesn't mean we go into a mall and start shooting up everybody and yelling out our principles and our points. It just meant that we should go into the malls with the weapons of our warfare, but we want to stay at home. We should be in the parking lots in our Glenfield, in our park. I was just telling to my congregation, when's the last time you see that mother dressed in her ushers or deaconess uniform with that bullhorn on the bus? When I was going to work back in the day and I had to get on that bus and go downtown Newark, 2 weeks didn't go by but before somebody got on that bus for the sole purpose of preaching the gospel. I can tell you this, it was a lot safer then than it is now. And where are those people? And I said to myself, man, I'm saying here, it's not really my role. I've never felt the inclination to do that. I do what I do, but I could do that better. But we are so reluctant to challenge the status quo and challenge the community with the word. I'm friends with imams. We don't have any issues. I mean, we come together on this issue often. So it's not about offending anybody. The Jews I know want us to celebrate Christmas. It makes the community better. They never asked for Santa Claus, or I shouldn't say Santa, or any nativity scenes to be taken. It was not a Jewish thing. It came from atheists to impose, their secularism on the society. Who is supposed to be the agent for change to push that back? The church. Who is supposed to be on the PTA boards when they bring curriculums that are going to indoctrinate our children into homosexuality, lesbianism, and transgenderism? Where is our people on those boards? But we feel we must concede and leave our values outside and allow them to impose our values to be a part of we are the world, to be a part of the system. It's really bizarre to me that we can't at this point, and I'm talking about basically ministers and leaders, church, see the detriment that has happened from drawing back, from not, there's a way, I don't like calling it imposing. I would say it's more or less legislating or making known my values, that my values aren't suppressed. If I don't tell you I'm offended, and my child is not going to take that curriculum, I think it's okay.
Let me ask you a question.
You can't even opt out now. in New Jersey, if you didn't.
Now, I've got a question to ask you. You deal with school choice, education, and other things alongside eugenics and racism.
It's the same.
But when you look at things, for example, do you see any people that could be doing more? For example, TDJ, these people on TV, they're everywhere. What are these preachers doing? I mean, you know of any? Can you name some folks who have these mega churches that are fighting gentrification, police brutality, or not?
Maybe not in the intensity that because I'm not there. The only person that gives me any, and I'm not here to, they got to answer. They got budgets that they know they can't save us so much because they need that increase of dollars and coming into their coffers so they can pay the bills. So I've never been there. I pray that I would never change because of that, but obviously you would have to say they have. Like I said, I don't want to crash too hard. We should be amongst the world, but not of the world. I think they get lost. But the only person, the urban alternative, he just lost his white president. I don't know why I can't think of his name. There's a lot of
Tony Evans.
Yeah, Tony Evans, to my knowledge, has a lot of programs that are extremely effective community organized. He's very big on the prison thing, which I'm happy about. And even he's outspoken about the pro-life position very strongly. But once again, some of these people have access to big budgets. They know other pastors that have big budgets. I can't, maybe they don't realize that truth, the only time any injustice has been eradicated is when there has been active activism in the communities, going back to the civil rights movement, going back to the Revolutionary War, certainly slavery. And those activists are charged to raise the consciousness of the community. Sometimes these things, and I want all my people to support crisis pregnancy centers to hear what I'm saying. I am grateful for you. I'm grateful for crisis pregnancy centers. Don't misinterpret what I'm saying, but that is not the answer. A crisis pregnancy center already somewhat admits that they're only geared to deal with the crisis of the pregnancy. Someone has to be after legislators. Someone has to be informing the community. Someone has to be coming up against systems that have already decided we're not embracing that doctrinal position, nor are we embracing it legislatively or governmentally. It's taboo. And you're taboo when you carry that message, and we'll make it known to you that you're not accepted or wanted, nor do we require you to be a voice. I challenge Montclair State University, Rutgers University, when the opportunities come up. Why isn't there an open discussion? Call me. If you don't want to talk to me, I talk to others. I know Dr. John Diggs up in Boston. A lot of times, you're not a doctor. I said, well, would you have him? I said, I'll pay the expense to bring him in so you could talk to you about what I'm sharing with you. There's 21 conclusive studies that abortion and breast cancer link is unquestionably there.
They've been suppressing that for 10 years or more.
Yeah. So what was that now?
They've been suppressing breast cancer.
Oh, right. And I said, how can you?
And Depo-Provera usage and breast cancer.
If you're going to force this into school, why can't you have an open forum?
Well, it's interesting. I had this discussion with someone. I had to shut down a young gay radical dude who got on my nerves. He made me angry because he was just telling me how stuff was. And I said to him, excuse me, dude. But in reality, when I went to school, we learned about the the danger of teen parenthood, teen fatherhood, teen motherhood. Heterosexuality had pitfalls that you had to watch out for. Why is it that you gays don't have any pitfalls? Everything's wonderful, peaches and cream. No suicide, no loneliness, no relationship breakup, no STDs. It's just great. Are you going to tell me that you don't know folks that don't get drunk and high and want to commit suicide every weekend because they're lonely? Are you going to try to tell me that life is that great being gay? If it were, more people would be so. He shut up.
Right.
Now, what I want to do was do some name associations, and you don't have to go long. I just want people to hear what you're saying.
Folks, I got no prep for this show. I want you to.
Let me see. Okay. Let me see. We're not interested in talking about gay people, whoever's asking that question. I just mentioned that in terms of we don't get an open forum. You don't get to have the new thing is to under political correctness is everything is great except for patriarchy, men and together. Everything else, no criticisms. You can't have any assessment. You can't think about it, no matter how bad the folk get messed up. Folk have a challenge with that. You know, there are other feeds. No. I don't know what this is. I am deflecting. Not really. Hey, you. If you think I'm defending the church, please get the hell off my site. There are very few people who blast the church and preachers as much as I do. If it's not enough for you, go somewhere. There are atheists, other people that hate God. Join them. I think this whole conversation has been a criticism of churches. If it doesn't satisfy you, I'm not here for your entertainment value. See you later.
Right. Well,
now, I wanted to ask you about some political figures.
Yeah.
Your thoughts on Barack Obama. You can just be a sentence. Barack Obama, if you had to sum him up.
Oh, I said it earlier in the program. Barack Obama was the true Manchurian candidate. He was unquestionably chosen for, in the words of Elijah Muhammad, you did not choose him. He was chosen for you. Someone with another agenda than it wasn't for the upward mobility of African Americans gave us Barack Obama. And one day in praying for him, God spoke back to me. He said, he honestly believes what he's doing is right in his world. So for him to lie, for him to weaponize the FBI and the CIA against, he feels that was just, that's a hard thing, you know, and that's something that God has to deal with. But we know people who like ourselves, who we're not like the, who was it, the Nineveh. We know our right hand from our left. We have to be consistent in our truth that we can win the people that were deceived by Barack Obama. And that was the greatest pain, to see how deceptive he was on his agenda, and basically had no agenda for African Americans at all.
No agenda. Stacey Abrams.
Well, he's calling her on the phone. It's the same pot. He's texting her about in code, you know, now that the walls are crumbling down on this fraud in Georgia. So she's a part of the system. I don't know her that well, but association modifies behavior. The people you associate with, I can basically kind of see more or less, and who you collaborate with. Well, she collaborates with the deep state. So, you know, she's been promised. You know, she's a house Negro. Then I don't listen to you after that point.
What about Black Lives Matter?
We know that's a fraud. We know also that is basically a communist, Marxist, contrived group, well-funded. We tease around each other. He said, if we had George Soros backing us up, abortion would have been over 10 years ago. But anyway, but brilliant. See, that's what we don't do. Okay. Right now, they are one of the chief lobbying forces for legislation. But what group?
What legislation have they gotten passed?
No, here it is. The influence of Black Lives Matter to the point where there are in our schools. Now that requires policy. All right, forget legislation, policy. They are in our schools. They have their own portion of what their curriculum is.
You mean like this nasty book here?
Okay, I didn't know you had it. This is shocking to me. This is shocking to me. That mayors and council people, they bow to this.
It's trash.
It's amazing.
Trash. They're trash. Okay, let's move on. The NAACP
Lost, unfortunately, misguided pawns of the once again of the DNC, more than the deep state, more of the Democratic Party, which has become the deep state seemingly, but once again sold out. If you want one word, sold out.
Oprah Winfrey.
Once again, a person undoubtedly could have offered a lot to African Americans. I thought at one time early that's the way she was heading. But okay, her prosperity and her notoriety and her
obesity.
That was Randy Short. and you know, the associations basically she sees herself as an elitist. I was watching when they just had the royal wedding. It was about last year when she came into the wedding and she didn't see her seat towards the front or in the main body, that she had to sit somewhere else in the back. I don't think she's ever forgotten that, but moms wasn't having it.
Well, you know, she probably thought there was a janitor closet for Oprah. That's the way they see people. But now, Tyler Perry.
Almost the same as Oprah. I really thought, now I knew Tyler Perry had issues. I just knew that. Okay. But I really thought.
Any man dressed up like a woman has issues.
Right. But see, you know, I like what Minister Farrakhan said. You know, he says, I'm not trying to beat up on my brother. I'm not trying to beat him. He said, but there's other values that he could center on to buffer that. But other than that, you know, as it is in the in Hollywood, which is as racist as any other institution in the country, that it would appear, and it's spiritual. Why you listen? We've been through enough. Why are you always diminishing the black male? I mean, this subliminal message. This is when Halle Berry. Here it is. Then I'm gonna, you know, maybe other inquiring minds like mine. You know, I don't get off into these fields. You're dragging me out there. I'm giving you my opinion as a pastor. When Halle Berry won an Academy Award, what role was it?
Monster balls.
I just had issue, and then I'm gonna tell you right now. When Denzel Washington did not get an Academy Award for Malcolm X, then I said I stopped watching it. I say what it is true. It is racist. But he got it for Training Day, a crooked cop basically on the take from the mob.
And he ultimately
he was all right. He was all right in Training Day. He was phenomenal in Malcolm X. Phenomenal. Now that's my opinion. Okay.
Now, I got a question from the chat, and I want to ask. This is a concern. You know, I'm gonna just say this: most preachers, pardon my language, they're full of shit and they're traitors to the black community. They don't do their damn jobs. People are very lucky. I think they're lucky that I'm not dictator of Black America, because I would have a whole lot of preachers arrested and put in jail. I would put them in supermax prisons for their crimes against our people. How come black ministers don't do anything about gentrification, police murders? I mean, they completely underperform. You know, if the black pastors as a corporate body were peanuts, they would need like 10 Viagra hits an hour because they don't stand up for nothing.
Well, that's a rough assessment. But, you know, one would, if you're going to evaluate the black pastor, here's where we got off. That was back in 63, 70, when Jesse ran. When Jesse
84.
84. Okay. Right.
84 and 88.
Right about there became the mass exodus of what we viewed as what a preacher should be, what should make us, what are the avenues for prominence, if there is such a road. But our identity basically changed to be, and Martin didn't have time to keep it in perspective. I'm not blaming Martin Luther King. He had to do what he did.
But Jesse's a snitch and a spy.
He could have put it back on the perspective.
But Jesse is complicit in Martin Luther King's assassination.
Oh, yeah.
I'm disappointed that people like Al Sharpton and others can be literally documented enemies of the black community. They can get to preach, be pastored. They're not shunned or rejected. And so, you know, Jesse Jackson with one big quill. Martin Luther King had us come to Montgomery to do something for the political movement for our people, because when we look at America has accomplished the wealth is in too few hands. Dr. King tried to show us, and we have made progress, but still there's a great gap between the haves and have-nots. Like, oh my God, it's like people think this is leadership. My God,
Martin had some serious church people with him that would not have been so consumed. Be of the world, be in the world, but not of the world.
At least not when you're in a hotel room.
Jesse reflected. We stopped. Once again, my point is primary. Well, listen, you know, did you hear Fulfilling Lost Dreams by Dr. Martin? He was basically confessing some of the improprieties of the leadership and stuff like that, such as that. He indirectly, he confesses that. I often say to people that bring that up also that gigolos don't give their life. He could have walked away. He could have walked away to the nice teaching jobs on college campuses, even some synagogues. He had a lot of Jewish connections. But when I say come in and speak, come in and speak, come in and speak, he could have had that life if he so chose desire to have it. He didn't. He wanted to finish. And he was also shamed. You know, here you are once again, 1960s in America, the most prominent African-American figure. If you can't handle that pedestal that you needed, you have to have the character that goes along with it. He was shaky there sometimes, and some of them. I'm not talking about Jesse. Jesse was always shaky. He was Judas. Okay, so but
what Dr. King said. Well, frankly, I find sex a great stress reliever.
Well, then go home to Claretta.
Claretta.
You keep Claretta. I said go home to Claretta.
Dr. King, I mean, you know, I met one of Dr. King's mistresses, and I gave her a big hug and kiss. And she wanted to know why I wanted to take a picture with her. And if I had told her I wanted to be with one of Dr. King's side pieces, she would have been upset. So, but I just want to
People, getting back to my point, Martin was able to keep the right perspective, the right perspective on church and the relationship of church. Oh, you remember the Monday night meetings? That was all in church's prayer, done before they even talked. The element of song, why they did. What civil rights movement today has gospel songs? And
what they call gospel, and then the people playing it are so corrupt. You know what? Hip hop.
My point is, he in his civil rights movement, he honored the church and its element and its traditions in the pursuit of the goals of civil rights.
Okay, now the two questions.
Jesse did not allow that. He wasn't able to transition. He sold his soul for a piece of bread.
I have a big bank account. What time is it?
but there's going to be a comeback. I want to say to those listening, prophetically, I believe that it's God. See, it's the only institution that's God's, and God is going to restore that institution, or He's going to remove it in judgment. Look at all 7 letters to the book in the book of Revelation. And so you got to understand that unquestionably there's going to be our Philadelphias, there's going to be our Smyrnas, very few of those.
Glad to see it.
But which, if you want to know the church that represents the country right now, it is Laodicea. Okay, we're neither hot nor cold, therefore He spills us out of His mouth. They were basically, and the thing about the eye salve in that particular text, they made eye salve for the known world at that time. The commerce was great. That was their main product. And He was basically telling His church, you don't see. And is that not our church right now? But the key thing is, there was opportunity to repent, and that's what it was. All those churches that He told to repent had opportunities to either continue in the vein that they were going and get reward, or repent. So the churches today who are deliberately, I believe, have blindfold over their eyes, they got to know, you hear people talk about the Lord doesn't know my problems. We feel that the God doesn't hear, and I've been there, don't get me wrong. But then I read the counsel. The first thing He says, all those those 7 churches, I know your works. He says, I know that you're there where the throne of Satan is. I know what you're going through. So we as a church should never be despondent that God doesn't know what we're going through. But He's also the God that can send revival, refreshing. America doesn't make it without the church, as bad as it is.
Okay, now I got a comment from the chat room. I want to speak to it real fast. One, Coretta Scott King not only supported abortion rights, she supported gay rights.
LGBT.
It's completely off the kilter. But what most people don't know, in spite of Coretta Scott King keeping secrets for Martin, although she was kind of, trippy, Coretta Scott King, she got killed too. They killed her in Mexico. So she got assassinated through bad medical care. So you can be cooning or even selling out doesn't save you. Someone else asked a question. I'm trying to see, where did that go? When you look for this thing, it doesn't always come up that easily. Let me see. We're talking about American Gangster. Somebody had to, if I can get up here.
That's a role that Denzel. Yeah, he was good in that too. But I had to keep telling myself I was not watching Malcolm X when watching Denzel. And
one was pushing bean pies, one was pushing dope. Nobody's pushing. Now, one of the things that I wanted to say to you.
Well, tell that person at least they're in the marketplace. But go ahead.
The situation that Black leadership. Now, you mentioned Black people do need to repent. We need to repent for all these babies we killed. We need to repent for killing 300,000 of each other. I mean, you have never heard of Black folks in 30 years kill 50 police officers. Real talk. I'm not talking about killing police officers. I'm only saying we've killed hundreds of thousands of each other, but it's almost impossible to imagine one racist, brutal cop dying at the hands of black folk who are tired of it. But man, can we kill each other? Man, can we kill the unborn? Man, can we stab and shoot each other over practically nothing? But some people who are really putting some damage on us, landlords, mayors, you name it, nothing.
Right.
Oh, and I'm going to ask you about the Boule and secret societies and the Greek letter. See, I think this is a big problem. They're in the way. When we start talking about these crooked people, they are in the Masonic orders. They're in the Greek societies. Did you see that WikiLeaks released all the secret information on the Greeks, and they explained how you have to do lesbian stuff to become an AKA? This is in their book.
And that's a progression to that point.
I bet you Kamala did something.
But it's I think it's spiritually designed. Let's face it. When you get a group of spiritual black women to do something in a community, my assessment down through the years, it gets done. Okay, when they come to the table, they represent a force. So if I'm trying to dismember that, I'm going to bring in the, Alpha Kappa, Alpha, whatever.
Well, it's good that we don't know, but it's AKA. Do you, Pastor, aren't the scriptures against secret societies like the Masons and the Omegas and Alpha Phi Alpha and AKA and Delta Sigma Theta? But yet, haven't you noticed a lot of good preachers?
Well, go ahead.
These secret societies would equate to another god.
Well, that's what the scripture says. It says they shall come in unawares. They always come out of the church. It's like these groups stem from or are in the church. It says doctrines of demons. That scared me as a young man the first time I read that particular verse. It means it's a teaching that was originated by demonic powers that are trying to deceive me. And they appeal to my spiritual quest. They appeal to my own cardinal desires, that I don't have to separate that from my pursuit of God. It is designed by demons. Doctrine of, it isn't doctrines of men. These are doctrines of demons. And they said they would come into the church. What he didn't describe what it would look like, but he said it was coming. You're going to have to be able to discern. And part of that is just through, as you pointed out, deviant scriptures, deviant doctrines or principles that take us away from the covenant that we have had, the most precious thing. Another thing, just to throw in, the founding fathers did not believe, even with, there's no question when something was lucrative, they were willing to lay down those principles, some of them. But my point is, even right now, they always attributed, every one of them, even Jefferson, attributed the Constitution and Declaration of Independence that God gave it to them. They needed a doctrine, a socio-political document in order to operate as a nation. And they said, God gave us this. This point right here where we're at, I was saying to myself, wow, if they didn't have this course, not even the Supreme Court has responded the way it should have, in my estimation, or maybe they're saying it should be handled by state legislatures. So don't ask us to do it. But of course, I have my opinion about that. My point is that the covenant we have, which is greater than the Constitution, greater than the Declaration of Independence, should never be deviated from. And the values should never be ever surrendered. I think it was Albert Einstein, who was Jewish, basically said, never surrender conscience, even when the state demands it. That's what's happening right now. These legislations, but we're the people of conscience and say, no, you can't have my conscience. That's the church. They're standing up in the same platform as the party that's demanding conscience. That is it is spill you out of my mouth. I said, you know, they just said that indeed that we're going to make that woman perform or that man perform that abortion. You're going to have these kids in New Jersey stand up and give 6 acts, articulate 6 acts of homosexuality or lesbianism in a relationship. You got to be able to articulate it.
And school. Now, let me ask you about COVID and vaccination, and what do you say to people about getting these shots?
First of all, anything, and I'm adamant above adamant. I'm not anti-vaccination because of polio, some other things that they have healed through. Listen, but it's not the same society. Just like I get people upset because the Lord tells you to be practical and discerning. The sanctity of life makes me respect life, but I believe if you take a person's life, your life should be taken also. Now, of course, the condition may differ, but if I willfully come and shoot Randy short, my life should be taken also, just to keep the sanctity of life as sanctity. That's you pay the ultimate price. There will not be a vaccine that comes into my body that you didn't knock me out some other way to take that has aborted fetal tissue in it. That is also DNA shifting. You're shifting that. They're proving now that the shifted DNA. You're not going to have some Luciferian drug, and that's what they call it, Luciferian or Luciferian. I said, are you kidding me? I mean, is Satan just laughing us? Well, you can track me. The devil is a lie. That is the beat. That's how it's going to be done, by the way. If you're here, if you're all you people that believe in the rapture, there's no question. If you're not ready, that is the way the mark will be administered to. Just after trying to do with this, we always had it with the brand on the top of the head or something. No, it's going to be through that means. So,
what do you think of that, Pastor?
The vaccine with no fetal tissue, I will look at it, but I'm not a doctor, but the fact that it's less than 3 years, should be 3 to 5 years before you know what's the long term on this. First of all, God would have to really send an angel and tell me to take it.
You're not a doctor, but you don't have to be a sucker either. Okay.
Well said.
Frankly, I want to just remind people, you and I, Pastor Broden,
yes,
helped write a letter that went to President Trump. Mm-hmm. And we're responsible and get the word out on hydroxychloroquine.
Right.
Please, folks need to hear from someone else that Donald Trump actually, when he was confronted with the fact that Black people died disproportionately, began fighting to make the drug available to save the lives of Black people, be he a racist or not. Yet I haven't seen behavior from Black churches or anybody be as loud as Donald Trump was to save the lives of Black people.
And that's an excellent point that needs to be made continually to hopefully shake some people out of existence, out of this stupor, this spell, this demon that allows him to look at Donald Trump in an adversarial way. He was the one pushing hydroxychloroquine, which does work, proven clinically, it does work. It is a means to administer healing in people who have had the condition of COVID. It's been around since 1945, 1947. But even when God gave an example of a Democrat, I always forget that woman's name. She was from, I think, Ohio.
No, she's from Michigan.
Michigan, okay. A African-American sister, Democrat. I went on her website, I went on her Facebook. She was taking pictures with Barack Obama. She was taking pictures with Joe Biden, a true Democrat, okay? She's on her deathbed. She said the only way I got it was because I was a congresswoman. She says I would not have gotten it. She used her authority to get hydroxychloroquine. She said it saved her life. And she went to the person whom she knew was pushing it, and the reason why she took it because of what he had said, Donald J. Trump. Okay. And what happens? She goes and thanks him because she realizes that none of her doctors would give it to her. None of her, the attending physicians would do it. She had to go outside the box. She never really said how she did. She had to go outside the box in order to get hydroxychloroquine. She said, that's the only reason why I'm here today to greet you, and I want to thank you. What was she? She was suspended when she got back. She was beat because she was beat by the master for stepping off the plantation. And I'm saying, you talk about, that's not even censorship. They just railed. I think she has to sue them because they censored her. Yeah, they totally censored her. And she's
saying that her life was saved by the medication.
Oh, no, that was the reason why. But see, why are you mad because a black sister got saved and wants to be grateful?
Okay. We've lost, at minimum, depending on whether they're telling the truth or not, maybe 50,000 black people died from COVID, so they say. If hydroxychloroquine was made available as President Trump had suggested, those people might have survived, meaning that Democrats like Maxine Waters, Stacey Abrams, and others would rather black people die as a means to make folks angry so they would vote against Donald Trump than to save their lives.
Governor Wolf of Pennsylvania, and the walking, living embodiment of Herod, Andrew Cuomo, and Phil Murphy, all, I can only speak for those three, that's my region, I try to keep up, all put flu patients in a nursing home. Once again, I'm not a doctor. Once again, I am not a practicing physician. I don't have the credentials. But as you said, I don't have to be a sucker or lose my common sense to know whenever you were sick, you stayed away from grandma. Whenever you had any type of conditions, you knew that she was highly susceptible to them, or he would be highly susceptible. We wouldn't visit my father-in-law if we were sneezing or anything like that. This is before COVID. So you brilliant guys, or are you really trying to create a condition for panic? Because you know they were padding those numbers. When you see it with your own eyes, when you know that a man has OD'd, and you're sitting up in his living room and watch them come up and take him out, watch those find the paraphernalia, and then I call back and say, what's on the death certificate? They say COVID. Then I know this is nationwide. Someone's trying to create a panic, and they initially did it by killing off those. You will never convince me they did not know what was going to be the outcome. Even if it's the flu. Now you're saying that this is, wait a minute now, this is more contagious than the flu, and you put them, you just lost your mind completely. You put them in nursing home, and you know all those ships and the docks that Trump set up, they would never use. You know, who was that chased them out of the park? Billy Graham's son, his organization had a makeshift hospital right there in Central Park. They had it covered. Media was lying, would never tell you the truth on it. They did not have to put them in nursing homes. They did not have to do it. But if you want to create a crisis at the expense of the elderly, that's what you do. All three are jerks, or was this a plan? Just like all 6 states stopped counting on November 3rd. Somebody's pulling the strings. I'm not stupid, my God. But black people, I say you are stupid if you put up with the Democratic Party. They're doing this. That was deliberate, and they have not been held accountable for that. They have not been held.
Because they're all true. Because as long as you're blue, you're true. But I'll tell you, I believe they want to kill a lot of people above the age of 72 to save on not having to give Social Security money. I believe
Yes.
that they would happily kill all of it. We'll do some Logan Run action and keep the money to speculate on the stock market. It's we've been at this for about an hour and a half. I want to thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. I know that I don't want to get beat up by Mrs. Childress. So
She's been pacing. All right.
And I'm gonna point this book out to you. You should get your hands on it. It's called Dr. Mary's Monkey.
Good.
Can you see it? Because their claim that cancer may have been spread to human beings from monkey cancer. So that polio that you're talking about may have an short-term fought polio, but introduced cancer.
Okay. Well, I got you, Dr. Mary's Monkey. I got about. I'll put it at the head of my list. There's no question about it, because it falls into the field that we still unquestionably have been called to the eugenics message of appointed genocide of the colored people of color. So I thank you once again. It's always,
if you read it, you'll find out that they use when they learn that they spread cancer from monkeys to people. Folks wanted to use this on blacks. This is what so it's there. It's right there.
It's amazing. And once again, I wish I could remember the gentleman's name that basically showed that link. But it was the days of Darwin, when Darwin basically viewed African Americans also as inferior. And his theories basically were totally taken into the field of eugenics totally by Francis Galton and that crew.
His cousin, right?
It's remained to this day,
right?
Especially in the world of science. You can't convince me that not everybody is going to have the views of Ben Carson. There are people powerful and greater and more manipulative in this. And when it comes to experimentation, I mean, there's no question yet, because my dad used to say, God rest his soul, he died back in 1983. But he used to say to me when these discussions would come up, he said, well, who did they drop the bomb on? And I said, well, Japan. He said, why they drop it on Germans? Why they drop it? And he said they picked an Oriental race of people that they did not identify would basically be the target of the most powerful weapon in the world. I'm glad there was, for the sake of Africa, if they would have had the opportunity, I'm wondering, it would have been no justification. So you had to deal with the person you were. He said, be glad it wasn't Africa. Be glad it wasn't a land of color. So, and he was a man who did not get past the 6th grade, but constantly.
A lot of folks shouldn't get past the 6th grade.
Constantly read them. He was not a TV person. Constantly read. Always had a commentary on the news. Listen, okay. Thank you so much for having
me. All right. Bye, Pastor Childress.
Bless now.
Hey, y'all. I'm about to pull this thing up here. We were going to watch this. Beverly Beatty, she was bringing it, keeping it real. And I hope y'all get that. Let me see. Got it. This sister's keeping it real. Let me just put this and move it.
So, ladies and gentlemen, I am here across the street. I'm at Ebenezer Baptist Church. This is the guy in Atlanta who's running for U.S. Senate. He made it very clear, he's a pro-choice pastor. And this guy's speeding for nothing, like he would really hit somebody. How irresponsible. He's a pro-choice pastor. He's a Democrat. And across the street, I want you guys to okay? I want you guys to check this out. I want you guys to check something out real quick. Right across the street from his church, look at this. And you guys, look, even this guy's astounded. He's looking. Look at this. Look at this. Hey, buddy, can I ask you a question? Was Atlanta back in the days always like this with this type of homelessness? I've never seen. It looked like the West Coast. This is crazy, right? Where you from? Of course. Okay. The guy that That's crazy. That's crazy. We from New York too. Yeah, we just moved here from Jersey. But she lived in New York and I lived in Staten Island. Look at this, y'all. Look at this. This is right across.
This is right across the street from Martin Luther King's church.
Right across from his church, y'all. Right across. No. This is, y'all don't understand. This is right across the street. This is his church. But this guy wants to represent Georgia. You guys need to share this. You guys need to share this. This man, I'm going in. I want to show y'all. This guy wants to represent Georgia, y'all. This man says he can represent Georgia, but he can't even clean up the trash across the street. I want y'all to see this. Look at this. They put this shit up. Jesus. Look at this. This is literally right across the street. Look over there. This the guy talking about running and representing us. Y'all, I don't think y'all understand how demonic these Democrats are. Look at this. His church. His church is right here, y'all. He has a mega church. You telling me he can't get some of his congregation to come out here and clean this place up? Minister the gospel to these people?
Last time we were in an area.
We were in Oakland. The last, and it was Kamala Harris, vice president elect. Look at this. Hold on. I don't want to step in the mud. Hold on. Y'all need to see this. This is Raphael Warnock. This is right across the street from his church in Atlanta, Georgia. Share with your family and friends. Look at this. Look at this. Look at this. He cannot manage leadership across the street from his own church, let alone manage Georgia. Look at this. Look at this. Jesus, have mercy. Look at this. And everybody out here, Jesus, black.
Here's the legacy of it.
This is the legacy across the street from Martin Luther King's church. This is what equality that he fought for. This is what it equaled to, according to the stewards of the legacy he left behind. Look at this. Look at this. But y'all want him to be senator? Share this. Share it. Share it. You gotta share these videos, ladies and gentlemen. Him and John Ossoff will destroy Atlanta. They'll destroy this. They'll destroy this state. Look at this. Look at this. Let's keep going. Before we go across the street, I want you guys to see this. Share with your family. Before you vote someone in, just because they say something that makes you feel good, make sure you check your rap sheet. How can a man maintain a church building, which really he's not maintaining? That's full of piss. You see that? Which really he's not maintaining. It's the congregation paying for his accommodation. Yet he cannot even manage across the street. Y'all, this is trifling. I have never seen a senator.
Where are we acting brand new, Bev?
Amen.
Where are we acting?
As trifling as they are, I've never seen a senator have this much filth right across the street, and he won't even clean it up.
He has one up on.
He dirty. He won't even clean it up.
He has one up on Harris.
At least clean it up.
Yeah.
He got it right in front of his
Right in
face,
front.
and he ain't doing nothing. But he talking about representing Georgia. Nah, y'all, this is crazy. Sunday morning,
Holy Ghost.
he giving a sermon. He talking about COVID tests. Let me show y'all this. Let's go across the street. He got free COVID tests for everybody. But look what you're dealing with across the street. Look at this area.
My God.
Look at back there.
There's
Hold on.
more. There's more.
Hold on. Before we go across the street, let me see this.
Hey, just when you touch your house.
Don't step in human doodle. Beer bottles.
Just when you
Beer
touch your
bottles.
house. Just when you thought
Oh, look, this is a trail. This is a trail.
it couldn't be more trifling. Just when you thought. Just when you thought.
Make sure you watch any of these homeless people. Look at this. Look at this.
Jesus. Look at this. What is that?
Trash. Look at this. Right across the street from his church. He's in there right now giving a sermon, y'all. He's giving a sermon about the new year and the Lord and the gospel.
Grieving. That was the message.
The grieving.
New Year's message.
Grieving how bad 2020
because of
was.
COVID and Breonna Taylor dying.
This is
and Denning. What's his name?
Breonna and George Floyd.
Pictures of that. You serve it.
But yeah, how many Breonna Taylors and George Floyd are sleeping out here every night while he got a church across the street? This is what they pay tithes for? This is what they think. This is what y'all pay tithes and offering at this church for? This is what y'all give this man the authority of leadership? And this is what he do? This is y'all community. Hold on. So the guy we just met, I asked, he stopped and he was looking at this area and he was surprised. And then I said, where you from? He came from New York. But even he was surprised at this amount of filth here. Now, New York ain't no better. New York is getting worse. But this man claims to be a pastor. He says he's a man of God. And this is what he's accommodating. This is crazy. This is crazy. Check this out, y'all. Nothing. Nothing. He don't even want to clean it up. Y'all from a church? Y'all?
The church.
Huh?
Yes.
Y'all, what church y'all from?
Christ only community.
All right.
Church.
I want to commend you. And that's why I want to commend you. I want to commend both of you. Because across the street, there's a man running for senator that runs this church. And he says he's going to represent Atlanta. But yet he can't manage what's across the street. Well, y'all got to come and do the work of the Lord. So I want to commend you. All right? And I want you to pay attention. If you're going to vote for this man, pay attention. If he's not a good steward over little, he will not be a good steward over much. This is not okay. This is demonic.
I agree.
And most of the people living there look like me and you. That's a problem.
I lost my house.
Listen, brother, there's a church across the street.
Good job.
We're called to have a job to do, brother. I hear you.
I help them. I spend my money.
Mm-hmm.
My tent's over there.
You hear what I'm saying to you?
Oh yeah, look,
God bless you.
We know Jesus. That's what we want. I boxed for them. I just lost everything.
Mm-hmm.
Matter of time.
Mm-hmm.
At the same time, I work at the barbershop. And I asked the man, can I turn school? How you doing, bro? Can I turn a little spot into the boxing? He said, it doesn't matter.
Mm. So he didn't help you. So the barbershop is helping you. Is it that barbershop right up there? So the church isn't coming into?
No. No. I'm repeating what you're saying, and I never. It's worth repeating. So, are you saying this church right here? You reached out for them. They don't care.
I'm not from there. I come all the way from the from Lebanon. 88 miles.
Wow. Jesus. Do me a favor. Grab my wallet.
I don't need money.
No, I'm giving it to them.
I offer them donation.
Please. You gotta keep going. You gotta keep going. We called to multiply the kingdom.
That's all we got.
Pass me my wallet. Just pass me. Yeah, what you got? They put this. You got cash too? Give it. What you got? I got a 20. And I got a 20. All right. Brother, keep doing what you're doing, brother. Listen to me. I'm preaching to the choir, but this is what kingdom is about. Put my wallet back. And that right there, the Lord is saying for this new year, those who have not done their job, they're going to be demoted. But those who serve the kingdom in truth and in spirit are going to be promoted. So all of these big buildings, don't let it scare you or shake you. You keep being a good steward over the little, and you're going to be the one to get the most. But this right here, this is unacceptable. Unacceptable to the kingdom of God.
Thank you.
God bless you. God bless you. God bless you. Make no freaking sense. Make no sense. But this guy want to be a representative. He want to be a representative. He's not qualified. He's not qualified. Last shot. I want you to see this. He ain't no good steward. He's not a good steward. He's not a good steward. Look at what he does. This man is not qualified to be the representative of Georgia. He will only work towards Georgia's demise. He will make his cut. He will make his cut. Look at the mockery of Martin Luther King. Look at the mockery. Get out the street, MA. They'll hit you out here. Look at the mockery. And how dare you compare Martin Luther King to Obama? Obama wasn't even a Christian. He was a Muslim. The mockery still is. All right, how we get to this church? All right. Okay. Excuse me. Do you know the way to the church? Do you know the way to get to the Baptist church? The Ebenezer's kind. Thank you. Where you get your suit from? That's nice. The pants. I thought it was a suit. Where you get that from? Ah. Let's try to get in. He walked out, so we can probably get in. Oh, Lord. Look. Man, scared all the time. You can't get in. The doors are locked. What about right here? Look, under Georgia law, during these promises and such in Jamaica. He's in here. Huh? That's him? That's him. So where's he doing service at? Where did that guy just come from? People are here for a reason. Where? Now they're doing a shoot. They're doing a photo shoot. Up on the side. Thank you, Mama. Is it over here? Father God, help us get an open door. Locked. There's a bed. The building. Where? Maybe so. We gotta find this dude. We gotta find this dude, and we gotta call him out. We gotta call him out. Let me see. I'm trying to. She must have came from like another side. Yeah, there's some stairs up there. Oh, visitor center. Okay, hold on. They really got the church closed and locked. And look, they got Gandhi. Is that Gandhi? Is that Gandhi?
Well, he was a huge inspiration for Dr.
He's
King.
no Christian.
Well, he was a huge inspiration for Dr. King. That's how Dr. King developed his whole peaceful approach through the teaching
That
of Jesus
shit told
Christ.
us everything we needed to know about Martin Luther King.
That's how that was developed.
Gandhi was no Christian.
Civil disobedience. That's where he got it from. So he got the strategy.
Oh.
Gandhi, because that's what Gandhi did in order to get India independent from the UK. Civil disobedience. So they.
Wow. Okay, this. Oh, building closed. The building's doors are closed. You gotta see this guy somewhere. Is this a campus or something too? But this is the church right here. All right. Maybe he'll come out. His service started at 11 though, right?
9 and 11.
So he ain't.
So it's what time is it now?
He wouldn't come out the front. Where would he park?
I'm sure they have that secret parking. Yeah.
Or like backdoor
Yeah,
parking?
yeah.
Back there. Backdoor parking. He might even enter from the back door. Let's see. It's a they've allowed this area to be a public campus. So we are not trespassing as of now until they tell us to leave the property. And if we refuse to leave the property, then we're trespassing. Look, go over to Martin Luther King shoes. Hold on.
I don't know what's up there on the stairs.
Okay, go up the stairs. I think it looked like a radio station or something. Broadcasting, but go up there. Oh, wait, that might be where he go. Is it open? But how would you know? Nope. All right, let's try the back. We exalt thee. We exalt thee. Is he even here? There's no car. He probably not even.
Executive pastor. That's his parking right here.
This is parking.
That's his parking.
So he's not here.
So he's not here. That's his parking. That's his parking.
Yeah, he's not here. Ladies and gentlemen, we wanted an opportunity to meet with Raphael Warnock and address him directly. Unfortunately, we don't have that opportunity because he's not here. But what I will say is this. If you watch this video, go back to the beginning, look at the type of environment across the street from his very church. This man is not a good steward. He is not responsible enough to manage the homeless across the street from his church, let alone be a representative of Georgia. Yet this man, he is a pro-choice at that. He is not a pastor after the kingdom of God. He is a false prophet. The good news is he's told you who he was. There's no reason to question who this man is. If you vote this man in, you are foolish. And whatever goes down in Georgia is your fault. And let me tell you this, shame on you, because if you vote these two senators in, not only will it take destruction in Georgia, but it will also cause chaos in our government, because they're the ones that are going to tip the scale for the Republican Party. We will keep the majority if we have the same two people in, but we will lose it if these people get in and the Democrats will have a majority in the Senate. You don't want that. Georgia, wake up. You have a beautiful, clean, lovely campus right here, but across the street, drug addicts, people that said they've come to the church for help and they've gotten nothing because these people, they ain't got nothing for you. Don't trust these Democrats. Don't trust them. Clean up the house.
In Atlanta, specifically in Atlanta, folks, that was the big surprise yesterday when we were driving around in Atlanta.
Filthy.
See that amount of homelessness. So we're like, wait a minute. I mean, we've seen this before, but in Atlanta, that's a Republican state. And that's the problem with these Democrat cities that are hidden behind those Republican states. So please make sure that the elected officials that you get in this city are of the Lord, because it would be very sad to lose Georgia, a beautiful state, in the hands of total frauds. That's fraudulent to have a church with the name Ebenezer on it, coming from the very church that Dr. King preached from, to have that and facing that, have a homeless camp.
Now I'm gonna show you guys one more time before we get off the homeless. I want you to see what their view
Right there.
from this property.
Yes.
I want you to see their view. But this man prioritizes COVID. He has the audacity to prioritize COVID testing over homeless, hungry people in the streets who need the gospel. They on drugs. They want to be there. They need the gospel. It's a church right across the street. Ain't no way you an effective church and this is what you have across your street. There's no way to prove. The Bible says he know them by their fruit. You can't even manage homelessness across your street. You.
Right here. That's the picture, man. Right here.
I mean, I can't stand when you do that and scare me like that. I can't stand it.
Just scare you.
Stop doing that. Who you scared to live in like?
Sorry, I didn't mean to scare you.
Okay, I forgive you.
Oh, thank you.
Now what?
That was the angle I wanted to show from here to here.
You're not gonna get it good on camera.
Yeah.
It's too far away. I want you close to the trees. All right, guys. Right here. Look, who's this? Who that? Right here. This is what they see. You see this? Look. Look. This is his church. This is his church. And this is what's right across the street. And you think this guy can manage? Look at this. Look at this. You think this man can manage? That's their view, ladies and gentlemen. That's their view. This man says he can manage being the U.S. Senator and Representative of Georgia, and he can't even manage the filth across the street from his church. And he's supposed to be a Christian. My Bible tells me we know them by their fruit. Look at this. This is who Raphael Warnock is. The proof is in the pudding. He puts up a form of holiness, but denies the power thereof. Because the power of God will clean these people up. The power of God will give these people salvation. The power of God will turn their lives around to where they wouldn't even want to live in a tent. What about giving them a job? What about that? He got the ability to give them a job, ladies and gentlemen. Man has all the connections in Atlanta he needs. Look at this. Look at this. He has a whole campus, for God's sake. He could hire them to be janitors. He could do something. But yet, they're sitting homelessly in these tents. And this man wants to represent Georgia. Share with everybody. Share with everybody. Baby, let me tell you something. They should have never let me move to Tennessee. Because I'm going to be a thorn in the devil's flesh. Amen, M.A.?
Amen.
Thorn in the devil's flesh. in the devil's flesh. All right, you guys, we're getting out of here. God bless y'all.
How y'all doing? It's not just me. Warnock is crap.
The biggest threat to America today, in my
The Democratic dictatorship over black people is crap. No, the Republicans don't love us, but you know what? Almost 95% of us are in this one party, delivering nothing after 50 years. It's time for us to push back. If you're in leadership and you don't deliver for us, you the enemy. That was Beverlyn Beatty. Beverlyn Beatty on YouTube. I shot the same kind of film, which I need to know is that the King family and Warnock, certain people complained about what I was doing just a few weeks ago. So I was basically asked, please leave Atlanta, stop exposing the corruption around Ebenezer Church because it made the family look bad. I wasn't trying to attack the family. I was trying to expose how black people let other black people suffer senselessly. It's senseless. No political party loves us. In fact, unfortunately, many of us don't love ourselves, our sisters, our brothers, our grandparents, our moms, our dads, the unborn. But something has to happen. Something has to happen. I want to say to you, because we've been at this for almost 2.5 hours, I want people, in fact, yes, BB, I said that Dr. King was earning perfect tens in gymnastics, somersaulting backwards in his grave, that his name is associated with this kind of neglect of the poor, and the sister didn't show the half. And what I want to tell all of you watching, they cleaned the area up after I came down and exposed it. It's been clean. The sidewalk that you saw, it was filthy with trash and doo-doo on it when I was there. Warnock and them cleaned up some of it to shut up, but they didn't clean enough. They're very much aware that people are suffering. They're very much aware it's dirty. They're very much aware that it's awful. They did just a little bit to sort of like make people shut up, but not enough to help the people. If you can't help a few homeless people with a mega church, you'll help nobody when the senatorial staff and with a budget. You won't do that either. If you're in Georgia, there's still time yet. The polls aren't closed. Do not vote for Raphael Warnock. Do not vote for him. Do not vote for this little bastard, Jackoff. Don't vote for these people. We need some people to groom our own leadership and our own parties, and or put candidates that we're behind that they cannot compromise. We need movements. We need agendas. We need to be able to put forth someone that belongs to us, so when they get into office, they do what we say, not what other people tell them to do. And politics isn't enough. You saw that land there. They could have had those people growing heirloom fruit and vegetables. They could be selling that. There are food deserts in Atlanta. There are food deserts all over this country. You don't even have to have a whole lot to take care of people that could live in a tent. You could put them in a very basic unit, Habitat for Humanity. They know the Carter family. They could have helped them. They don't want to. The Boule, our traitor black leadership, deliberately, they have no regard. They do want us dead. They are starving us. They're working against us every single day. And until we go to war with them, until we get angry, I don't care about your color. I couldn't care a damn about your color, your religion. I care about the results or the lack of service that you do for people. Stacey Abrams should go to jail. Stacey Abrams, I'll bet her a 50-piece Chick-fil-A that she will get punished for what she's done. Kemp is a crook. It's true the Republican Party is shallow and it's not pro-black in Georgia. However, couldn't we do something? Can't we make people treat us better, force them? If we use some of the meanness and ugliness and jealousy that we do against one another for nothing, against people that oppress us, folks would be afraid to mess with us. We're passive aggressive. We're cowards. We only like hurting one another. We don't even stand up to groups that we're bigger and stronger than. Weakness and cowardice is a choice. To be treated like this decade after decade is a choice. Here in Washington, we have this very vicious lesbian by the name of Muriel Bowser. She's looking to legalize prostitution. She's already made it legal for them to do some communist-style inoculation, vaccination of children without the consent or knowledge of the parents. And there's practically no real movement to say that this bitch should be out. Long time ago. You have power, everybody watching this. It's proof that there's power. As they disrupt my little teeny stream, they're just 112 people watching, and they'll knock it out. I don't know. I had a friend tell me just yesterday they were monetizing their YouTube channel. They had all these videos, and YouTube accept every single solitary one of their videos for monetization, except for the videos that carried my name. Who am I? I'm at home. I turn 56 next month. I live with my mom. I don't really own anything. What are they afraid of? What are you scared of? And the few books I have here, I have 15,000 in storage. I have nowhere to put them. What are they afraid of? I'm just one person. But if one person had 10, 12, like I said, COONBUSTERS initially, for the time being, where I don't have a whole lot of capital, if nothing else, I can teach people. I can impart information. I can inspire people. I can get people to think. I can give them something to do when they're sitting at home, to think about, to listen to. And I'm going to tell you, prayer works. God works. The scriptures say the eyes of the Lord, God, the Most High, search the earth for people to show his power and glory to. We need power and glory just to get through the day dealing with the self-hating Negroes and all the whites and honorary whites and folk who hate our guts just because we exist. Without the power of the Most High, we're in a bad situation. Even people from other places don't always like us. They've been told to hate us. We can't overcome all of that. But with God, all things are possible. I'm going to get dinner for my mom. Bless me if you can. I am going to get the Houston Chamberlain books. I decided to get volume 1 and volume 2. So I have to come up when I get this stuff, but I want to read. But what I want to share with you, the reason I wanted the Houston Chamberlain book, and I want to read it to you, that it comes from this deviant Englishman who hated God, who worshiped whiteness, who came up with the idea of the Aryan Jesus. So when you encounter people who are talking to you about whiteness of Jesus and what difference, what color it is, they're lying. Now, what's my Cash App? It's Dr. Randy Short. Dr. Uppercase D, lowercase r, uppercase r, ANDY, which is lowercase, uppercase S, lowercase HORT is my Cash App, Dr. Randy Short. If you do PayPal, that's wrandyshort@gmail. If you do Zelle, it's wrandyshort@gmail. If you want to send me a letter or a card, you can write me at Dr. Short, Salt, at P.O. Box 92398, Washington, D.C., 20090. That's Dr. Randy Short, Salt Ministry, P.O. Box 92398, Washington, D.C., 290. I want to let y'all know that tomorrow I'm going to go down to the protest. I am going to support because I don't like Biden, and I want to let everyone know there's a missing black man in Delaware. He may have been lynched. People are already celebrating Biden being president by killing black folks like they typically do in Delaware. Y'all don't know how they get down here. I'm going to probably have Brother Brendan come in and talk, who knows about lynching in Delaware. It's a real problem. You will see more black people killed than you've ever seen before if Biden becomes president. It's bad enough with what we got now. It can get worse. You don't say you vote for lesser evils, but you know what? You can experience greater evil. I'll be there. Believe it or not, I know one or two of the Proud Boys. I didn't plan to meet them. I ended up meeting them because of stuff you do. I want your prayers because I want to see if I can get something crazy to happen. And that is to get some people that are conservative to do something that they normally don't do. And that is to support fighting against the mayor of D.C. and the mayor of Chicago. We need a coalition of people to begin to go after these people who stab us in the back. We must fight the boule using asymmetrical intellectual and spiritual warfare for the greater good of our God and of our people getting free. And ain't nothing like freedom. It's 3:45. I think it's ready. I think my mom's ready to eat. I'm going to see what I can do. My email again for everyone is wrandyshort@gmail.com. If you've got a question, sometimes I can answer it, sometimes I can't. It's going to be interesting the next couple of days what happens. I'll give you updates. Please don't vote for Warnout. I am not pleased with either Republican candidate. However, the two Democrats have promised to fight for pedophilia, to fight for illegals, to fight for all this degenerate stuff. And the two Republicans who aren't doing enough, at least aren't going to push for baby killing and pedophilia. I mean, isn't that crazy? I want roads. I want stores. I want businesses. I want the cryptocurrency, something else. But in the interim, get better. Thank you. I love Mom. I had to get her something. And I will be doing some reading. I got all this stuff stacked up here. Just forgive me. I have really took this death of Patrick hard. I mean, just felt really bad about this. And between you and I, listening, the drama's not over with him dead, sadly. Also, I want to let y'all know that we just might pull off something that's going to blow people's minds in terms of wresting some concessions to get some help to fight against these entrenched democratic machines that screw us. Let's catch up. Let me check on Mom. Love everybody. Continue to bless me. Yeah, absolutely. I got to buy a whole bunch of books, but when I share them with you, the information's invaluable. The libraries are closed. They didn't want you to be able to read and do things. So we're going to get back together. I want to thank all 150 or 200 of you that watched. Pray for this because they mess with the stream. They mess with the phones. It's been quite interesting. But we can do all things through Christ that strengthen us. May God bless and keep you. I got to let y'all go. Bye now. I'll be back. And I'll send out a notice. Who you gonna call? Coonbuster. Be blessed. Be blessed. Bye, everybody.